Okay, there it is. There it is. I was muted. I was muted. We should be good now. Yeah, the sound's fine. I fixed it. I fixed it. I was muted. Forgot to click the button. Anyway, now that everything sounds good and everything's working, how's everybody's day today? You guys survive FOMC? That was kind of a not much of an FOMC. No? No, you can't hear me? Okay, now I don't know if you guys are trolling me or not. Okay, audio. I don't know who to trust right now. Okay, thank you. Thanks. Now the sound's good because it's a little bit delayed, so sometimes I don't know if the chat. You guys just got me. Yeah, you guys got me. Anyway, you know what? Did you guys survive FOMC then? I mean, you should have. It was just basically a nothing burger. Passed one, blew one. Get out with a $50 loss. Traded practice account only. That's probably the safest way. Survived loud noise. I didn't trade FOMC, thank goodness. I mean, it was a whole lot of nothing, just as expected. Tomorrow's Friday. I mean, right now we're on the trading day. It's Friday. If you are up money after this week, then maybe it's best to just size down, relax, don't give anything back for the end of the week. But let's get to it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Slow Markets. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. As always, there is our Topstep risk disclosure. Everything we go over on TopstepTV is for educational purposes only. It's not a signals class. It's not a signals, and it's not advice in terms of where to get in, where to get out. Yeah, so let's get to these markets. This is a daily chart on the NASDAQ. We'll go through our regular rapid fire, which is NASDAQ, crude oil, Nikkei, and then finish it off with gold. We'll get to some questions, maybe some statistics, and yeah, let's finish it off. What a 3-day rally. This has been one heck of a rally. And we have officially made all-time highs. We're sitting here right at the all-time high, 21,219s. And that's basically where we were at July 11th, right at all-time highs. Now, the question is, and I'm sure everyone's wondering this and everyone's asking, what do we do? Like, how can we trade this market? I have such a hard time trading this market where we are at right now, because we've came so far so fast, like so fast, and one could maybe expect a little bit of a pullback, just a little bit. I don't know, but I mean, this market could always be irrational longer than we can solve it. We all know that. We all know that saying. That was a cliche or just a very popular saying. So maybe we could get some type of a pullback in order for us to maybe look for some buying opportunities and then see if we could break through and break out. Or are we just not going to get a pullback and we just keep going and just, 3 days, over 1,200 points in 3 days. I mean, I was going to say it's been a while since we've seen that, but we don't have to look too far back before we see a move that we've seen like that before. Take a look at these moves. The moves that we've seen this fall and late summer has been something else, and this thing can keep going. This market, the NASDAQ, can very well keep going. The question is there going to be an opportunity for a buy the pullback? Each one of these nice rallies, there's been a little bit of a pullback, not much, just a little bit during these rallies, and it's if any there. It's very hard to tell on some of these pullbacks. And if we zoom into an hourly chart, let's do just that. I'm going to go ahead and clear that, and let's take a look at the hourly chart. I mean, this is very zoomed out. And let's take a look. Let's look at this last rally. This is the rally back in August. You can see there's a little bit of a pullback in each of these nice rallies, right? Pullback, and I'm in consolidation, then we sold off. And then same here on this big rally, there was some consolidation before we continued again. But this one seems a little bit different. I mean, you can see there was, a pullback and some consolidation, overnight during the election. I mean, today there wasn't much, right? I mean, you can see there was not much of a pullback. We had maybe not even 100 points, and then it's just kind of going up and to the right, and then broke out again. And are we going to go up and to the right, or are we going to see a little bit of a pullback? I think that there is a little bit of a chance that you can see we're consolidating. There's a lot of indecision right here, right at this all-time high. 1, 2, 3, 4, going on to the 5th hour, and so maybe we do get a pullback, to like 200, maybe 250, 260s. But I'm going to be a dip buyer in this market, that's for sure. Any decent pullback could be a very good opportunity for us to break out. And when we're talking about breakouts, this is going to be a big breakout if you guys haven't already considered this to be a breakout. A lot of times you guys know how I like markets. I like to see a little bit of a pullback before we breakouts and have a nice run to all-time highs. That being said, I look at it like a trampoline, right? You jump on the trampoline dips down before it goes up. And so I'd like to see that. Will I get it? I don't know. We could always just keep going higher and higher and have, what people always say, short squeeze and keep going up. And usually when we see one all-time high, we typically see a nice string of all-time highs where it's just not, one all-time high and done. Usually we see more than one all-time high. You can see when we're breaking out, it's more than just one. And it's usually not like this. We don't typically see this type of a move when we have a rally and when we break all-time highs. Usually we don't see 600 plus points in a day. Doesn't mean we can't going through this. And this is really diving in depth on the NASDAQ. But for tonight, I'm not looking at longs tonight just because we've came so far so fast. If you want, maybe I'm thinking about taking a smaller short-term short. Just looking for that pullback. It's a low probability because I'm going against the trend, right? So it's low probability. I'm going against the trend. And so my target would need to be pretty dang tight. Looking for that type of a short. Stop, of course, thinking about a slow markets trade. Do we, use a sell stop to get into a short when we break down? Do we get in somewhere in between? And then maybe have a stop loss at the all-time high and looking for some type of a move down. That's a possibility. It's very hard to short this market. That's for sure. Not liking longs though, and I know that it just feels so weird. All-time highs is definitely can be a tricky market to trade. Anyway, move on. We'll continue to talk about NASDAQ. We'll continue to watch NASDAQ. Let's take a look. We'll go through our regular rapid fire. Let's take a look at crude oil. Crude oil rallying, not a rally, right? We're still, in a bullish trend where we're making higher lows. We're continuing to make these higher lows, as you can see here, and we're continuing to, test the upper, 7250. We tested again here today, and so. Yeah, I'm looking for this market to possibly move up to $75 a barrel. Maybe we come up and test this. If we could break through and break out of this consolidation or these highs, this resistant area that we've seen in oil, or if we fail to do so, then, we could come back down and test these, lows of 67.50. But until then, higher lows. And higher or equal highs. I am bullish crude oil, and I'm going to stay bullish crude oil until we find some type of change in market structure. I don't see a trade set up. If anything, maybe I'm going to look for this market to continue have some type of, higher low again. Is this a higher low? Maybe, but the risk reward is just not there for me in crude. This is a 1 hour time frame. Let's take a look at Nikkei. Nikkei, Japanese market, has seen some crazy moves lately. We were talking about it last night. This is the hourly chart on the Nikkei, it's the Japanese market, and take a look at these moves. These are not small moves at all. This big sell-off we seen last night, that was almost 3%. The 2.75% worth of a sell-off, and this was last night. So if we're looking at these moves in the Nikkei, 2.75 last night almost, and then throughout today, we've completely reversed that and went up 2.25 all the way back up. And tonight, we're selling off tonight. This is an hourly chart, and we were at we're basically at 39,000, and we are starting to sell off. You can see 39,000 down to where we are at right now. We're down 1%. Maybe this is a buying opportunity. I'm liking longs just because the market has been, bullish. Obviously, we're continues it very similar to the NASDAQ, very similar to crude oil, higher lows, and every single time we've came down into this area, it's been, good buying opportunities for this market to continue and run and test highs, maybe 40,000. And do we get a break to all-time highs, or at least do we get a break from this major consolidation here in the Nikkei? Maybe. The NASDAQ's been rallying. The U.S. markets are rallying, and if we can continue to see bullish movement here in the Nikkei, I wouldn't be surprised. What are the highs for the Nikkei? Let's take a look at do we have all-time highs? Yeah, all-time highs for the Nikkei is going to be right in the mid 42,000, 500, pretty close. And so the question is, are we going to see that move up and breaking through 40,000 and then holding 40,000, right? Not just breaking through, it's holding 40,000 would be the key here on Nikkei, because every time we try and test and get above it, it's struggled to hold above it. So let's move on to gold, and then we'll jump back to the NASDAQ, because it sounds like traders are saying NASDAQ is going up. So here's gold. Maybe there's a short opportunity in gold. I'm looking at gold on the hourly chart, and you can see this was the all-time high, 2,800, and we sold off, consolidated, had a major sell-off, and that doesn't look like too bad of an opportunity here in gold, to be honest. This might be something I might try myself. This was support and resistance on the way down, and we've rallied up, and it looks like we consolidated here, ran up, consolidated again, and can we see gold move back down to below 2,700, maybe test 2690s, or there's an opportunity here in the way that I view the market, looking at basic support and resistance. Is this just a pullback on this trend, right? The trend is down based off of what we're seeing here since the start of this sell-off. So that could be a possibility, right? Big sell-off, major, pullback, and we're at a pullback at an area of resistance. I'm pretty sure, just looking at this looks like halfway mark, right? Let's look at the, everyone who trades Fibonacci's, right? Do you measure from here to here? I don't know if that's how you measure. No, that's not how you measure it. That is not how you measure it. Am I measuring these wrong? I'm not much of a Fibonacci trader. I think that's how you do it. It's been a while. Yeah, so we're whatever. This is probably, this is halfway. This is a little bit more. But yeah, this is an interesting spot for gold. I wouldn't be surprised if we do have a bit of a sell-off and peak back below 2,700. We do see some volatility that comes into the markets right at 8 p.m. So it's going to be an interesting thing to watch. I'm going to watch gold a little bit more going into tonight and tomorrow to see how we react. Maybe there is the opportunity here I mean, before I started class, right, where we did break through that area of support, we was making higher lows, and then when we broke through that, maybe I would actually, maybe if we do rally up and test this, then I could look for a reversal and a continuation. I'm not sure. I'm going to watch it. We'll see if we can find an opportunity tonight. But until then, we'll watch it. We'll continue. Let's get to some questions. Let me know, everybody, if you guys see the markets moving. As we're waiting, I'll get to some questions, and then we have this, or at least I have this here that I've been talking about. Let me get this all set up. Come on. So you guys know, each night this week, we've been doing the check-in for the Topstep Labs, my 2-hour Q&A session Wednesday, November 13th, and then the following week a follow-up class, and it's only for 20 traders. So each night this week, there's a check-in. The more you check in, the higher your odds are. Stay tuned tonight. So let's get to some questions that everyone has here. I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to make sure we are watching 2 markets at once. So we'll put gold on one, and then we'll take a look at the NASDAQ. We'll put gold on one, and then the NASDAQ on the other, and then we'll see if any of these markets. NASDAQ's looking a bit more bullish. Is this a bullish flag? Now that I'm looking at this on the 5-minute time frame, and then are we going to see a nice break to the long side? That is a possibility. So I'm going to be watching both. I'm going to keep this right there so we can all see while I answer some questions. And I need a drink because my mouth is extremely dry. Here's a good one. How do you know if it's a pullback or a reversal? Yeah, that's the question, right? And I think you're referring to gold on those 1-hour chart. Is how do you know if this is a pullback or a reversal? I mean, you don't, right? you don't. That's where the trade comes from. If it was a 100% on anything, then trading would be a lot easier. I mean, the first move against the trend is typically the quote pullback, right? That would be the expected pullback. Like here's the so-called trend, the intermediate, the short-term trend, and then this can technically be the pullback, right? The reversal, I would say, would happen down here, right? The 3-bar reversal, there's consolidation and the break the wrong way. So I'd say that this would be the reversal into a pullback. And then what I like to see is typically a move down, and then this would create a higher low. And then this is what I would say is like the main confirmation for me for this market to reverse. And everyone will have their own definition of how they view these pullbacks or reversals, but that is the main part of trading, right? Is knowing, where am I going to put my money at risk? Where am I going to be getting in at? Where's my stop loss going to be? And where's my target going to be? And each person is going to be viewing these markets differently in the way that their system and their time frame allows them. But on the 1-hour chart, on what you see just right here, to me this looks like a pullback. And then if you change time frames, right, say the 5-minute chart, you can say, oh wow, we were on a downtrend and now we reversed and we are currently in an uptrend, right? A bullish trend based off of now what you see on this chart on the 5-minute. Then you could say, hey, this is an uptrend. We are bullish now. So it depends on your time frame. It depends on your strategy. But that's one of the hard things for trading. It really is. Right now on the 5-minute, it's looking bullish, right? On the hourly, it was looking bearish. On the 5-minute, you could see high. Here's a low. Is this going to be a higher low, right? Are we making higher lows? I'm not sure. Not sure. We're going to find out though. Right? That's part of trading. How do you feel about SPY Futes? -5 delta pushing into the close, profit taking into close, or something more sinister? I'm not sure. I don't look too much into that aspect, into what's exactly going on, what's the delta going into the close. Basically, what my mindset is kind of what you guys are seeing tonight and each night during slow markets. I just look at the technical side and I look what the market's doing. I look what the market has done from the technical side, like the 5-minute, the 1 hour chart. And you can see, look, we're starting to possibly, break out of this bullish flag pattern or this flagging pattern. And I say it's bullish because the direction we have been going is go straight up, right? And so typically the flagging pattern would be in the direction that the market was going before it started this pattern. And so I would say that this is a bullish flag pattern just because the trend for the past few days have been bullish, going up and to the right. It doesn't mean that we don't these patterns don't work 100% of the time, right? We could easily, turn around and just sell off. But yeah, so far we are breaking out to the long side, and this could keep going up. And we could see this come and test these 240s really fast here. And we could watch it. Let's continue to get some more of these questions. Dakota, I have doubt on my approach to risk management. For a 50K combine account, is it more reasonable risk reward ratio? How do you approach it? I think you can't look just at the risk reward. You have to look at both. You have to look at risk reward, and you have to look at your winning trade percentage. It doesn't matter what size of account. I have traders ask me this question quite frequently, actually. It doesn't really matter whether it's a 50K account, 100 or 150K account. Your system should be the same. The only thing that really changes, in my opinion, is your position size, right? Where maybe on a 150K account, you trade a full mini. Then a 100K account, you trade 5 micros. And then a 50K account, you trade 1 micro, right? It needs to be the position size. When you're talking about the size of account, you need to be talking about the size of your position, not your risk reward, not your win trade percentage. It's position size, to me, would go hand in hand with your account size. Position size, account size. They go hand in hand, just like risk reward and with trade percentage. You should stay with the same strategy, the same system that you plan on, working with, or that you're currently in the middle of developing or practicing, right? Just changing your position sizing. And I'm always for smaller position. Smaller position to me is typically best, especially for new traders who are trying to pass combines. Smaller positions are usually best. I say that because I've been there, done that, unfortunately. Let's get to a few more questions. Do you get into market cycles, seasonality? Generally, gold should be selling soon. J-Buck, not really. Typically, I let the markets tell me what cycle they're in. Just like, hey, if market's going to start selling off and we're continuing to make either higher lows that we're seeing in gold over here on the right, then yeah, seasonality, and the market's going to tell me what it wants to do, right? Based off of which direction it's going and how it's reacting. I don't look too much into, I know the famous one that everyone's probably going to be hearing is the Santa rally, right? The Santa rally, getting ready going into Christmas. They're going to say equities typically rally, and there are some truth to that. There is some truth to that. However, when does that exactly start? How do you trade that? Is it straight up like we've seen the last 3 days, or is it choppy? But we're day traders, and we must trade what the market's giving us on a day-to-day basis, not what we might believe in a more longer term, like swing trading point of view. So can you give us a breakdown on how to use a single micro on a 50K account? I'm not sure what a breakdown on how to use the micro. I mean, just follow your same exact strategy you plan to use. I can't really give a breakdown on how to trade a micro. It's the same thing you see every single night here on slow markets. You see it on TopstepTV. You get into a position, and then you get out of a position, You just use it 1 micro. That's maybe I'm just confused with that question. Do you see trend lines in your trading? Yeah, look, these are trend lines, right? We're breaking out to the long side. So I mean, not completely, but I mean, it depends on how you want to measure your trades, right? What was your largest size dollar value in XFA before you were called up to live? 25,000? No, 30,000 maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was 30. You guys. I think he's asking, how are you supposed to make $200 a day with 1 micro? Process over profits, everybody. Process over profits. If you trade 1 micro and you're making $20 a day, amazing. You get consistent at it, and then you could scale up. Then you could do 2 micros and then 3 micros. Don't think about just passing, right? You need to think about your trading strategy. You need to think about building a process, and then all it is, it's only a matter of scaling. And so stop looking at it as I have to make this amount of money in this amount of time. You need to think about my goal here as a trader is to focus on building a strategy to trade this market, regardless of whether it's 1 micro, 2 micros, 1 mini, 10 minis. It needs to be consistent. And if you cannot consistently trade 1 micro, then thinking about the dollar amount is basically irrelevant, right? Because if you can't consistently show good trading in 1 micro, then you have no business talking about $200 a day. You have no business talking about passing a combine or getting into an XFA or having a live account. So you need to first get past developing a process first, and then you can worry about, okay, I'm going to try doing the same exact thing with 3 micros or 5. And then once you're able to repeat that and follow the same process, then the dollars will just, you'll pass your combine without thinking about it. That's trading. That's how trading works. There's no thinking about $200 a day. You're thinking about the payouts. You're thinking about the dollar amounts before you've been consistent at a single strategy for longer than a month. I change strategies a lot. Not my core strategy. The way I trade it, I change it a lot. The markets change quite frequently, whether they're trending or they're consolidating, and sometimes you do have to adapt. My overall main strategy of what you guys see me doing, right, basic technical analysis, it really hasn't changed since I've actually became pretty consistent at trading, and since I've started to trade full time quite a while ago. That has not changed, but the way I approach it does change. Yeah, look at this. Gold's starting to sell off here. It's right at 8 p.m. Central. It's right at 8 p.m. Central. We're starting to see gold sell off. NASDAQ's still trying to push session highs. The session high is sitting here at 39. So let's see if NASDAQ could come up and reach this 39, 38 level. And gold is starting to sell off here a little bit. Let's see what happens. We're only 1 minute into 8 p.m. 8 p.m. we typically see a little spike in volatility, and then we're starting to see it now. I mean, in gold at least. We had this consolidation, and so far we're breaking to the downside. Let's see if we can hold this and get some continuation, maybe down to this level of support. Maybe I mean, can we hold 2,700? Or are we going to break down below 2,700? Or do we even get there? If we go down to, we should bounce. NASDAQ's holding. NASDAQ has a lot of strength. It looks like we've failed a few times to break below this. We've held support. To me, it looks like we was going to break this 216 level. We have not, and now we're pushing higher. we've been holding this level, and here we go. Here we go. Let's see it. Let's see it. 36s. The session high is 39. We might make a run past that. Maybe we get all-time highs tonight. I think we can. I think we could see all-time highs tonight. There's a possibility. We have to get through these. We have to get through these session highs right here at 39, 38, 39. This level. Gold's selling off still, holding around 2704. NASDAQ not wanting to push. Oh, watch it. It can move. It can move fast. Trust me. Blink and we'll move 10 points sometimes. All right, let's get to, man, we have a lot of questions tonight. I like it. I like it a lot. There we go. See that? Blink and we're already up there. I want to watch this real quick before we get to any more questions. 30. We could even zoom out. We're struggling to hold. If we do, this thing could go fast. What does Dobie call it? Teleporting? Where we'll be at 35s. The next thing we're going to be at in the 40s, testing 50s, and new all-time highs. Let's see if we could do it. Gold's still pushing. We're at pushing lower. 2703s. We're in the threes now. I'm going to need to watch this for a minute. I can get distracted answering a question. How do I remain stone cold in emotions? I'm used to losing. That is my best answer to why I might appear cold in my emotions, is because I'm just so used to losing, and I know that every single trade I place is one trade out of many. One trade out of many. Every single trade I place, it's just a statistic. That's all it is. That's all it ever is. Every trade you ever place should only be looked at as a statistic. One trade out of a big sample size over a long period of time. You need to understand that if you want to do this, and you want to do this for longer than a month or even up to a year, how many trades are you going to have in a year? You're going to have a bunch of trades in a year, right? And you place one trade, that's just one little data point in a long period of time. Fail faster to success. So maybe I don't want to say I'm used to losing. It's just, yeah, that's the way I've started to look at the markets. And every single one of my trades is that way, that mindset. And it's taken a while, and it's taken a lot of losses to get it like that. NASDAQ's still trying to hold these 30s. I thought we could be seeing session highs a lot quicker. I still think there's a possibility that we do break above these 38, 39 level. It's just taking its time, that's for sure. Taking its time. Let's get to a few more questions while we watch this. If I look at gold on a 1 hour chart, is it safe to say that when you turn off extended hours, gold looks more bullish, possibly move to close up the gap in the 2790s? Maybe. I don't like to look at markets without extended hours. I mean, the way I look at the markets is the way I've been viewing it here, and you've seen what the way I was looking at here on the hourly chart, right? Everyone's going to have their own way of looking at the market, and I think that's a good example. Everybody's going to have their way of looking at the market, and I'm looking at this as, currently a down intermediate, short-term intermediate downtrend, and then this possibly could be a pullback. And then, maybe if you are bullish, I mean, if I'm going to buy gold, I'm going to wait for maybe some type of a pullback in order to get in long and look for something like this, right? That's what I would look for personally. And it's just the way that I view the markets. NASDAQ still trying to hold these 30s. Not much movement tonight. Not much movement. What do you guys think? Do you think the market's a little exhausted after a very crazy week? I mean, we had elections to begin the week. Middle week was pretty crazy. Yes, I mean yesterday. I mean today was FOMC, and going into Friday. I mean, I'm exhausted, and I haven't been trading as much. I mean, it's just there's a lot. I mean, we could still see this break to all-time highs. We're only, 20 points, and we all know the NASDAQ could move 20 points in a minute, but it's really slow tonight. I was thinking maybe a little bit more volatility. Yeah, not too much. I mean, we're still getting good moves here on the NASDAQ. I mean, if we look at this, where we've opened up at 5 p.m. Central, we've sold off, 20 points and then rallied, 40. And then, I mean, there's been decent movement, but I was thinking that we might see a little more volatility pushing up near these highs again. Because these highs are they're just so attractive right now to see NASDAQ push up to and test them. Maybe even make new highs during the Asian session. Because like I said, when we see one all-time high, we usually see more than one, right? They usually come in a nice string where, hey, we've seen an all-time high, then a new one, and a new one, and a new one, just like we were seeing early summer and throughout the early part of this year. It might not happen until London session or during the New York session. I just love watching the markets. And, I want it to happen during slow markets. Why not? I think Nikkei looks like a buy right here. Possibly. That's not a bad market to be talking. I like it. I can see the way that you're looking at Nikkei. We had that big rally. Look at that spike, and that was tonight. Spike up to basically 40, and then we've sold. Yeah, you know what? I like it. I could see us bouncing off this. This is a nice area that was resistance, and I could see this zone becoming support. Maybe we could see some type of a bounce. This is just a practice account for tonight. We could watch it. Markets are just moving really slow. Markets are moving really slow tonight. So nothing too crazy. Let's get to a few more questions that you guys are just filling me. These are good questions too. I like it. This is not just like, what is a 3-bar reversal? These are good. Really good. Look, I missed that. I missed it. I'm gonna wait. Let's see it. We're seeing the NASDAQ. Here we go. NASDAQ's finally gonna maybe break out here. Let's see if I can get into this Nikkei. Here we go. 37. Can we see it? Oh, we're so close. Session highs. 37. We can watch this on a 1 minute. Watch it break through this. 38.5. We'll see it run through 39 and then maybe straight to the 40s. 39. Let's see it. There we go. There's the move. I'm still not filled here on the Nikkei. All right, now let's see. There we go. 42s. Can we see all-time highs now? Okay, I'm in on the Nikkei. We'll put a stop right there. And then we'll watch this NASDAQ. J-Buck. Man, what a move. Here we go, 43s. Let's see if we can get all-time highs. I want to see this thing at all-time highs. We're less than 10 points away. 52. This Nikkei trade is not too bad either. If trading is boring, it makes it even more tough. Yep, welcome. That is trading. How many trades a week do you take? I usually take about 10 trades a week. I will say I average about 10 trades a week. Yes. I'm going to actually look at risking. Okay, yeah. About 10 trades a week, plus or minus a couple, depending on how volatile the week is and what's going on throughout the week. It is about where I'm at. And I'm always for quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. That's what I'm for. A lot of statistics that we review and a lot of statistics that I've seen, it's usually like 1 or 2 trades. 1 or 2 trades a day, and they have amazing statistics. Amazing statistics with just a few trades a day. You don't need a lot. And it depends on your strategy, right? Let's see, 45. We got to 45. And we're right there. We're just so close to new all-time highs. Let's see if we could get it. I'm going to jump into another one of these on the Nikkei. Man, wanting to see us break all-time highs. I seem to get stuck always in the last 2 days to a payout. Is it me psychologically focused on the payout instead of trading? J trades, yes. I think that's a good assumption. Is if you're getting stuck, getting across the finish line, that is most likely what it is. Whether you're trying to pass a combine, you're trying to get to a payout, and you're just not getting to it, 99.9% of the time, it's a psychological thing. You need to continue to practice, like I say every night. Process over profits. Don't think about it. It will happen naturally. If you're thinking about the dollar amounts, if you're thinking about passing, if you're thinking about getting to that payout, then you're going to have a harder time getting there. You need to focus on the process, and the more you focus on the process, the higher the odds are it will happen naturally. When you have time, could you go over what measured moves are and how to use them? Tune in. Yeah, I'll do that probably the last part of class. The last part of class, I'll review measured moves. Measured moves. I think that would be a good conversation for this NASDAQ. For NASDAQ, since we are at all-time highs, on the way that I look at measured moves. Nikkei's going against me. Don't like it. I'm going to risk. Yeah, that's about. I'm fine with risking that. This is a demo account. I want to see NASDAQ push through all-time highs during class. How do you use options trading to confirm direction of your futures trading? I don't, world. I don't use options to confirm any directions of my futures. I don't. Persistent trader, can you give advice on ways to hold winners longer and let them run? Once again, process. Don't think about closing out your winners as fast. You need to be slow at closing your winners and fast at closing your losers. Just develop a process. You need to have it in your strategy and then follow that strategy. Yeah, I think Nick for a tick does options. I do know Rips talks about maybe options as well. I could be wrong, to be honest. All right, man. Time is going not too fast. Going through some of these questions. I got through most of them. NASDAQ now struggling to hold into these 40s. Not liking this Nikkei trade as much. When I wanted it, I want it to go now. Yeah, we went up, touched 45 near these highs. Didn't even get to these upper 40s. And we are starting to sell off now a little bit. So the question now is going to be, is this was resistance. Now will this resistance become support? Are Topstep planning to add Eurex markets anytime soon? Not 1000% sure. I do know that there is the Trader Hub, and if you go to the support, there's this center where we have a lot of features. I think traders are wanting like DAX and everything that traders are wanting. It's in here. So come in here if you do have time, and you could go through, check to see what's being planned. You can see when Topstep does have something planned. It's, you know, confirmed here, planned, when it's finished, when it's in progress. And so this has been a very nice feature that I also refer to. And it's an amazing platform. It's built by traders. It's for traders. I'm testing things out for Topstep as well. And I mean, it still hasn't even been a year. If you guys believe that this platform, Topstep X, is still less than 1 year old. I think it was released when? Early spring. So late spring, I think. But less than a year old, and Topstep X is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've really enjoyed trading on this platform. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's not just TradeView. It's an amazing platform. It's built by traders. It's built by us. I mean, you can see all the features here. We have all these customized features that they weren't all there, and it's been very nice. Mobile app when? I mean, we do have mobile. Topstep X is mobile. I have it on my phone as well. Oh. Waiting for these markets. It's a slow market. It's a slow night, everybody. Let's keep getting to a few more questions as we watch these markets, these very slow markets. Your stop loss is based on ticks or dollar amounts. My stop loss is based purely off of technical analysis, right? For example, let's review this trade actually. I actually like it better here. Two things where I could put this stop loss. First thing I'm watching is there's resistance. There's a lot of resistance right here. Then this resistance became support. So this is a decent zone. This 460, 455 level. Look, NASDAQ is starting to sell off now. Maybe we just ran liquidity up here into the 40s. Yeah, we might have just ran liquidity into the 40s and right back down. But yeah, this is a decent support and resistance level, and so my stop loss would need to be, you know, right to me. I like to have my stop loss below support and resistance, or above if I'm looking to short it. So to me, that's the decent area and the right area for a stop loss. Yeah, look at NASDAQ, straight up and right back down, up 15, down 15, and now we're starting to sell off. Man. I've been at this since March and still not consistent with the goal of being profitable at the end of the year. Pressure is getting to me. Any advice? Tim, you've been at this since March. The question I would ask you, if you've been in trading for, you know, a few months or even, like you said, since March, the question you need to ask is, have you been switching back and forth different strategies? Do you have a bunch of indicators? Like, what do you think is stopping you? Because some traders that I talk to will trade one strategy for 2 to 3 months and then make an adjustment. For example, I'm going to stay, this is just an example. Say I'm looking to try a new strategy. I will follow that strategy for exactly like 2 to 3 months, but I'll follow the strategy exactly to the way, like almost like a robot, right? Knowing that this is me just collecting data. I'm trading. I want at least a month or two worth of statistics. And then once I get those statistics, I'll analyze them and then I'll make an adjustment and then I'll trade for another 1 or 2 months. So if you've been trading since March, I would say you probably should have only adjusted your strategy maybe 4 times. So I'm curious how many times you've adjusted your strategy. How many times have you changed your strategy? Because you should have really only adjusted it or changed it like 4 or 5 times maybe. You're on your 4th strategy now. Well, that's good to hear that it's only been 4 and you've not been bouncing back and forth. And then the next thing probably be position and risk management. That would be the very next thing I would focus on. Position and risk management. Those are the 2 key. I mean, they go hand in hand. I mean, it's basically the same. Position management, risk management. I took my first payout from an XFA, and I've been in a downtrend Blue One account today. I got too fixated with withdrawing. What do you suggest? It's kind of been the same story that I've been talking about throughout tonight. Is you are either focusing on the payout, you are thinking about the dollar amounts. Once again, and this is going to be the same answer. I'm seeing all these questions that are coming through tonight, and it's the same answer for almost all of these. It's focus on a process. To heck with thinking about the dollar amounts. To heck with thinking about getting a payout right now. You need to think about the process. And if you can consistently, trade that process and trade it with a reasonable amount of success, you don't have to be on the leaderboard. I want to make sure that's clear, is you do not need to be on the leaderboard. You can make really good money, and the leaderboard is really just, what do you want to call it? I don't want to say a distraction, but it could be there as a distraction, and it's like, okay, out of tens of thousands of traders, the leaderboard is only 25 of them, right? And yeah, it's I'm trying to think of how I could put this. You can't get so fixated at the dollar amounts, right? You need to understand, how would just following your process, focus on like $50 a day on average, right? Average, because you're going to have winning days, you're going to have losing days. So if you're focusing on $50 a day on average, if you have to be thinking about the dollar amounts, or focus on 10 points a day, if you're trading the NASDAQ, 10 points a day with 1 micro. That's $20. 10 points a day with 2 micros, that's $40. 10 points a day with a mini, that's $200, right? So just understand that. Focus on getting X amount of points or X amount of ticks every single day and get consistent at that. And that will answer all of these questions. That will answer almost every question that I'm looking at right now. Is if you could just focus on the process, focus on getting X amount of points every day, and that solves so many problems that I see traders go through. Oh, yeah, let's keep going through this, man. We're getting through a lot. This is a productive night, to be honest. I mean, even though these markets are pretty quiet, this is a pretty productive night. I'm liking this Nikkei trade. I'm thinking about cutting. You know what I could probably do? I'm going to go ahead and do this. Get into a 3rd contract. Let's see if I get into a 3rd. I'm going to tighten up my risk. Get into a 3rd. There we go. But you see how my risk hasn't changed? So over here on the right, you see I added a contract. So I've added a contract, but my risk is still either the same or lower, right? So it's like, okay, if I'm going to add, because we are starting to bounce off that, so I'm going to, the only reason I'm able to add is because I tightened up my stop loss. And so even though, yeah, of course, the wider the stop, the better. If I'm thinking that my stop loss was down here, then yeah, I'm risking way too much. If my stop loss is here, then it's at 39,470, then that could be, it would allow me to be in a bigger position size. So this allows me to be in, I'm comfortable with 3 contracts right there. And if we continue, right, if we continue to rally, so here could be a good example. Let's say if this market goes back up and maybe we are doing something like this, and the market starts to do that, right? Then I'll be okay. Add another contract. Then I can move my risk. I'll move my stop loss to right there. I'll move my stop loss to 490. And then, I'm keeping the risk the same. I'm building a position as the market's going in my direction. So I do that sometimes. And then by the time, if the market does go in the direction and this is a winning trade, then sometimes I think I posted it on my Twitter, on what's it called, X. I did it with my live account on Nikkei earlier. I think it was maybe last week. I did this exact thing. My live account, I got into 9 contracts doing this, right? I just got into I was 1, 2, 3, and I moved my stop loss. Then 3, 4, 5. I did that, and as it went in my direction, I built a position the size of 9 contracts in my live account, and I posted it on Twitter, which is fun. I've been more active, and I'm sure you guys are. Some people in here have been following me on it. If not, it's due. I've been doing my best at being active on it. How do we know if the market is oversold or overbought? Leon, how do we know if the market is oversold or overbought? The market can be oversold or overbought depending on what time frame you look at. It depends. Some traders look at an RSI indicator. Some traders look at different indicators. Some traders just look at average true range. Sometimes I look at this. Here's the NASDAQ. Someone was talking about the way I like to use measured moves. And so this is just an example. Maybe we want to measure these decent moves. And so I'm like, okay, well, the market has the capability of moving, this much when we do rally. And so, sure, based off the daily time frame, we still got room. We have room on these moves. And if we're measuring that, then we could see this market up here at 21,700s, 600, 700s in this zone. And look at this. I could continue to measure these moves, and they're probably going to be pretty dang close. So is this oversold or overbought? No, not based off of the way I'm looking at it on this market. This market could keep going up. So it's technically not overbought. However, if you look at the 1 hour chart and you look at this and say, wow, this market looks like it's overbought based off of, however you're viewing the market. And so that's why I said it depends on the time frame you're looking at. You could throw stochastics, there's RSI, there's a lot of indicators that you can look at that could help you decide that for yourself. And on the 5-minute chart, it looks overbought, right? 5-minute chart, it looks overbought. But then you look at the 1-minute chart, and you look at, say, this amount, and hey, it looks like we're not even overbought. It looks like we've just been kind of consolidating here. Look at the Nikkei. Yeah, that's the Asian market. Asian market. That's slow markets. That's why I named it this title. It's slow markets. We're looking at higher time frames. We're talking about markets on a higher time frame, and not scalping it, right? Because you see moves like this. It's already back down to probably 35. It's right back down to my entry. See? Market's back down to my entry. And you probably don't even know it. It's because the bid and ask. So, yeah, it depends on your definition. We did get up to 65. Yep. Yeah, that's always an interesting. It's always an interesting. Oh man, someone pointed out I'm 3 contracts deep on a 50K combine. Yeah, I forgot this was a 50K combine. Yeah, it's just a practice account. Don't. That's why I said there's the risk disclosure. You guys know that risk disclosure, right? There it is. There's that risk disclosure. I didn't notice. I thought, yeah. Yeah, there's one thing. Pay attention to the account size that you're trading. Whoops. And well, I'm in it now. Let's get this thing then. This is a 50K combine. Okay. All right, now I need to focus. If this is a refocus. Let's hold up. Let's focus. I need to focus on this. This is a 50K combine. Oh man. Let's take a look at this. All right. I still like this trade. I mean, I don't like it at this size of risk for this combine. I put that risk disclosure. Do not do this. This is very ill-advised. To me, this was a 150K account. So this would be how I manage risk and how I would manage trade on a 150K account. So this is a 150K account trade. I'm okay with, dang, whoops. So anyway, let me get to some more questions. I'm going to manage this trade while I'm in it. You guys could watch this. This one doesn't have the level 2 data. What's okay? The max profit on this. Okay. Let's see. Well, we'll just watch this. We'll see if I can manage this trade. I might just get out of it here soon because I didn't notice that. Okay. Is that why you guys were asking those questions? You guys were just like, look at this dude. What, he's just going all in on the Nikkei on this 50K account trade. That's why I'm getting all those questions in the chat asking me about position sizing on a 50K account. Yeah, that is why I was getting those questions. Let's, close your eyes. Don't think about this. This is a 150K account trading size. This is not a combine. This is a coach's account, slow markets, practice only. Okay, practice only. That's what this was. Anyway, that's why we do the risk disclosure. I mean, you can see how easy it is to get distracted when you are in a class. That being said, what was we talking about before I noticed that? Before I noticed this? On the 50K, you don't want to make more than 1,500 per day. Yeah, so let's do that. We don't want to make more than that. That's a little bit better than a 2-to-1 risk reward. If you're a new trader and you accidentally oversize, close the trade down immediately. Anytime you don't trade your plan, exit instantly. Love that. Full port. What's your take on 2 double tops on the 1 hour? As long as we are below and didn't make the next leg, I'm a bear today. Are you talking about the NASDAQ? We'll go back to this. You're talking about you're bearish on the NASDAQ. Yeah, like I said, I am expecting a pullback, but we could easily break through and make an all-time high at any moment. We are actually pulling back quite a bit here on the NASDAQ. We had that nice run. It looked like we was going to maybe make all-time highs, and we didn't. We reversed, and here we are. Here we are. We're right back down to where we were, continuing to consolidate. But you can see 1 or 2 minutes, right? 1 or 2 minutes, especially at this time of night. Markets could move really quick. We'll watch this trade. We'll continue to watch in this trade. I mean, like I said, pretend it's a 150K account. That's what this trade is based off of. I'm not going to close it, but yeah. Oh, I'm not going to make any comments on what happened today in terms of FTT. I like I said, if you follow me on Twitter or Topstep or X, that is where I would make any comments. Like if I say anything or if I do anything, it's going to be like I said it there. I only made one comment about it, and that's all I'm going to leave it at. And it's more about how we want, especially me, I want 100% transparency. I'm always going to be pushing for transparency, pushing to, move the futures industry and the prop firm industry forward, right? Because that's what we want. We all want one thing. We want to be consistent at trading. We want to get good at trading. We want to be able to make money and then eventually be able to do that in a live account. And so, 100%, that's why I absolutely love Topstep is we get moved to a live account, trading a live account. And that's the ultimate goal, is because when you go through this whole process, you learn in a combine, right? Combine, simulated environment, safer environment. It's, lower risk because you're only, risking what you've paid for a combine. And then you have the ability to practice, process over profits. And then, if you start trading well, you pass the combine, you get moved to an express funded account, and then you can start taking a payout if you continue that consistent trading in an XFA with the ultimate goal of being moved to a live account. Because to be honest, that's what we want. We want a live account. Me as a trader, you as a trader, is your ultimate goal is to make money in the markets, be consistent at doing it, and then be able to do it on your own, right? There's been some traders who've went through this process, who's taking and has taken payouts, and then took that money, opened up their own personal account, and has been pretty successful. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And that's, to me, why prop firms exist. Like Topstep is, traders who do not have a lot of money or even if they do have, the means, it's safer than just opening up a brokerage account and throwing your own money into the markets and then just, trading like that. So I could just keep going and going and going like one of those rants, but I'm not. That I think everyone knows and understands what I'm really, because I've said it a few times. I know MPs talked to and said it a few times as well. But that's good. Anyway, back to this. Let me check a couple things, actually. Let me check. Checking just a couple things. Okay. Anyway, back to that. Let's take a look at a few more questions. I'm watching this. I'm watching this trade. You can see how the bid and ask. See we're at 560. See, there's a difference between market liquidity. It's slow markets. The market is up here at 560. Now, say 545. In last trade price is down here at 535. And so this is a good example. Okay, this is very much a good example, and what I like to see. And be able to talk about it, right? Because sometimes the last fill price is not exactly where you're going to get filled. And so when we're talking about these different market orders, and I'm going to use this as a good talking point for tonight, is if you market in, say you want to market buy, you're going to get filled at 555, 555. Now you're going to get filled at 560. If I market buy right now, I'm going to get filled at the ask, okay? So this is a great example. If you market sell, you're going to get filled at 545. So that is a big difference. That's why it's very important to understand what market you're trading, how it trades, and how it trades at different times. So you might be seeing one thing on the price. It's saying 39.45. And if you want to buy it, if you want to just buy market, you're going to get filled at 560. You're going to get filled all the way up here. And with an instrument like the Nikkei, it's $25 per tick. That's instantly minus $100 because of the spread, right? And that's why whenever you hear us talk about spread, when you hear anybody on Topstep TV talk about spread or slippage or any of that, could you imagine a stop loss, right? My stop loss, 470. My stop loss is at 470 right here. And if this market just sells off, the next price I might not get filled. Even though my stop loss says 470, I might not get filled until 450. Okay. Now this is just purely an example. And so if it says, hey, my stop order is at 470, my max risk is 950, no, that it's not 100% guaranteed that I'm going to only lose 950. Yes, in a nice, very liquid market, you're going to lose 950. It's a market order, but sometimes there is that slippage where I might get filled at, 465, 460, depending on if there's a news event, depending on if there's something dramatic and how fast the market's moving. The same thing is on the NASDAQ. The same thing on every market. It's just at a different extent, right? As yes, look, only ones and twos at the bid and ask right now at 55, 60 compared to some of these other markets. I'm going to go ahead and hold that up. We're going to trail this. I don't want to risk very much. Why risk very much? Does that make sense? That's a good example. I don't mind. I don't talk about it every single day, but we have new traders joining us. But that's why almost every trade, when you mark it in, starts out negative. And that's the cost, right? That's why whenever I'm talking about statistics, when I talk about statistics, a 50-50 win rate, you need just like a little bit over 50-50 for a risk reward and a win rate to be making up for commissions and maybe the spread. And that's why sometimes you could just get filled and some newer traders, that could be very frustrating if you don't understand that. Yeah, hope that makes sense. Yeah. Those props I listed about, not talking about other props, Richard. So does this concern the fast markets or not? It's both. This is fast markets, slow markets. It's markets in general. During the New York session, when the markets are moving quicker, when there's a lot more orders going through, it's a lot more, quote, liquid, then yeah, it's not going to happen as much. The bid and ask is going to be very tight, right? Where if we take a look at, we was talking about let's take a look at the notes. Take a look at this, right? The note. Oh, I need to link it. Let's go to this, and we'll do blue. Okay, now take a look at it. Now you can see the difference on here, right? Look how many contracts are at the bid and the ask. So when you buy market, you're not going to get filled all the way up, with that amount of slippage. This is a lot more of a liquid market, right? There's 2,000 contracts at the ask. And if you're going to buy 2 contracts at market, you're going to get 20, like this price, 102.270. And if you're going to sell, you're going to get this price. It's more likely. And then if you have a stop loss below it, right? If your stop loss is here and the market moves, you have a much greater chance at getting that price and having a lot less slippage based off of that. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? I don't cover it very much. It's just one of those things that I assume a lot of traders know or understand. And it's something that I do believe a lot of traders should know. It's like, I wouldn't say entry level. No question's a dumb question. Let's get that straight. Everyone's everyone starts somewhere, right? Somebody who's traded 20 years, when they first was learning about the market, they learned about that for the very first time somewhere. And some of that stuff is, it's small, but it's important. It's very, very small, or it can be very small, but it's another important aspect in trading. How many new people are in here tonight? I don't know. Let's do it. Let's see it. Who's new? Who is new? Do we have any new traders and new people tuning in for the very first time? Trigger, where's the NASDAQ going tonight? I talked about it a little bit. You never know where the NASDAQ's going. I did an analysis. Me, Richmond, we got a lot of new traders. Do a poll. I mean, I do a poll and people, I mean, you can't trust them. Yeah, I don't know how much I trust polls because anybody could say I'm new. I'm trying to look at the usernames to see if there's usernames I've never seen before. So it's a lot better for me just to ask and see. See, yeah, I know some of you guys are saying I'm new, and I've seen you in here before. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a few new traders that I have never seen before. I mean, there's still a lot of traders in here. Trolls? Yeah. Jay, you missed it. The new account I'm testing out, Coach Jay. I'm 3 contracts deep in the Nikkei. Yeah. Thinking this was a 150K account, and I'm all in on this Nikkei trade. Only been trading futures for a little more than a year. Yeah, so what do you consider as new? A new trader could be a few weeks, right? You've only been trading a few weeks. Just 3, why not 5? Is max position 5? No, this was a typical trade on how I would trade 150K. I at this point I wouldn't get in. You know what? I probably would have added a contract and then moved my stop loss to keep my risk the same, and then maybe add another contract, move my stop loss to keep the risk the same. But we'll see. Let's see if we get into a comfortable position and let this thing run. Yeah, someone says I'm a gambler. Tonight is a very good example of how to trade a 150K account. A very bad example of how to trade a 50K account. Coach Jay, you're short 2HG. DBA, what is the most amount of Nikkei trades contracts I've ever been in? The most contracts I've ever been in on the Nikkei was 30. I was in 30 Nikkei contracts. And it was doing the same thing, scaling into it, where the risk stayed the same, but my position size increased. Is 16 resets in a single day? Yes. More than one reset in a day can be an emotional decision. 30 contracts on the Nikkei. It's not okay. It's all about perspective. 30 contracts on the Nikkei can be very, very big, or it could be a normal trade depending on your perspective. It depends on how you're getting into the trade, right? Because if you build a position with moving your stop loss just like this, you're not risking more, right? Your risk does not increase with your position size only if you're moving your stop loss, right? Because if my stop loss is here versus here, and then I double my contract size, right? If my contract size is 6, my risk is still going to be like $700. Compared to right here, my risk is still $700. So it's about position size. Okay, it's 100% position size and compared to what you're trading. Does that make sense? So you don't have to be risking more because you have a bigger position size. It really depends on your stop loss, right? Because maybe if this is a bigger account, 3 contracts is very small, and I could have my stop loss down here and my take profit further and say, yeah, this is a small position, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, I think I'm making sense. Maybe I'm not. So 30 contracts, I didn't have too much risk on that trade because I scaled into it. I want to see this break through these 65s. We're struggling to get above these 65. You can see over here on the DOM, 65s are sitting here at the ask. If we do break, I'm going to move my stop loss. You know, I might. Yeah, if we do break through 65, I'm going to move my stop loss to probably 510. Oh, we're getting close. Let's see. I want to see us break. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, talking about this, talking about Topstep Labs. So on Monday, okay, forms are over. On Monday is when we are going to be doing the giveaway. Monday is the official giveaway. So stay tuned. Monday is the giveaway for this Topstep Labs. This is the first one. And depending on how it goes, there might be more. So, like I said, depending on how it goes, depending on how I feel about it and how everything is, I probably do more, right? I've committed to the VIP. This is one I wanted to see how it goes. The VIP is going to be the most important for me. And so, yeah, get excited. Monday is the giveaway. We've been doing the check-in link all week. It's closed. There wasn't one tonight. Sorry if I did say that, or maybe I said that incorrectly. But Monday is when it's going to be a giveaway. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to try and make it dramatic. I'm going to be making it as dramatic as I can. Because why not? Why not? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move my risk. So I'm only risking 350, and so now could be a good time where I can add a couple contracts, right? I could add a couple contracts here if I wanted on maybe a retest or something. Yeah, I think there's three opportunities. There's 3 or 4 opportunities to get on into it. If you missed it, there's going to be more. Trust me, everybody. There's going to be more opportunities to, like I said, VIP sessions coming, or the VIP. What do we call it? It's not the class, but the VIP team is going to be coming out in January, and more to come. If this one goes good, then yes, definitely going to be. I'd want to do more if this one goes well. Here we go. We're testing 590s for the ask. 590. There's 590. Let's go ahead. I'm going to mitigate some. I'm going to mitigate some of this risk. Let's see if I could get out at 590 at one of these. Let's see if it will let me now. Is that the time already? I mean, we have 5 minutes left, but I'm gonna go and let's see if I could get out of this trade. So let's see if I could get out of this one. So I don't mind staying a few minutes. I just want to get out of this one. Oh man, it didn't. We had the ask touch 590, but that was it. Back down to 60, 65, 55. So this would be an example where I would add right here. So if this was a bigger account size, I would probably add 2 more contracts and keep my risk at $900. Mark it out. Yeah, you can see where the ask was hitting 590, but there was no one there. There was no fills at 590. The ask was just there. That was it. And this is a very slow market. Very slow. Let's see. Coach Jay said he's short. He's short copper. Copper is a little more liquid. A lot more than the Nikkei. Man, copper has had one big rally. Look at that rally on copper. I like that short, Coach Jay. If you're still here, I really like your short on copper. We're up 5% in the last day, almost a day and a half. We're up 5% on copper. So I do like that short. I mean, look at this. Every time copper rallies, it has a decent sell-off. Biggest percent mover of the day today is copper. That's a good move. That's a great trade. I like that short. Where are you short from? I don't trade copper, but from a technical standpoint, you could like look. These rallies have been nice bounces to sell. Anything? I don't know exactly where you would get in at or how you look at triggers, but I'm guessing. Oh, let's see. If I was to guess, Coach Jay, I'm going to guess that you're short at 42 even. 442 even. Oh, wow. There you go. 442 even. See, that's what happens. I've known you and I've seen the way you trade so much. I could guess. That's weird. All right, let's see if I could get filled here, and then we could finish it off. 2 minutes left till class. I want to see if we could get filled. You guys could watch it. You could watch, and then you could see there is a difference. You don't always get the fill price. Let's see, 85. We could watch paint dry together. That's what this feels like. What does join ask and join bid do? Explain on spreads was awesome, by the way. So joining the ask and joining the bid is exactly what it sounds like. Okay. So when you click join bid, you're just putting a buy limit order at the bid. So if I join bid, it will put a buy limit at the bid, and the bid is 565. If I click join bid, it would say buy limit at 565. Boom. It would have just got filled because the ask got there. Does that make sense? Same with the join ask. If I put join ask, it put a sell limit at whatever price the ask is when I click the button. Right? Join ask, sell limit 565. Boom. That's what it would put. Join ask, sell limit. I mean, it depends on where it is. So sometimes it's easier just to like manually place it because sometimes the market's moving. Yeah, I like join bid, join ask. I do that rather than market orders. And now we're getting right back down. Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to join ask and I'll show you what it is. Let's see if we could get a little bounce back up to these 560s. I'll join ask and you could see it. You ready? So as soon as the ask gets to 560, I'll join it. Let's see if it does. If it gets there. I might just... There you go. Oh, 550. I don't want that one. We'll do 555. Do you see how it's showing up? Right? Join ask. And this is a sim, so it doesn't show, it doesn't go through. In terms of you don't see it go through it doesn't change the contract size. See, there's 2 contracts at the ask. There's still 2. It's a sim environment. If I do this in my live account, that 2 becomes a 3. Right? Does that make sense? There you go. Nothing's missed. I think I'm just going to let this one run. If I get stopped out, oh well. Minus 350. If not, I don't want my take profit all the way up there. I'll just keep it at, what do we say is on the 5th? We'll do 1,500. Okay, there you go. 3-to-1. This is actually a 5-to-1 risk reward. If I just let this run overnight, which I think I might. So that's where I'm going to leave it off. I'm going to be on Fast Markets tomorrow morning. And yeah, good night, everybody. Take care. And remember, Monday is when we're going to be announcing the winners for that Topstep Labs. So till then, take care and see you later.